What's going on? Will Freeman, RevolutionaryLifestyleDesign.com, talking to you today about, do you need to spend money to make money? I know a lot of you guys might not have money. You're worried about if you can make money in your business if you don't have a lot of money. Maybe I know a lot of you guys do have a lot of money. Okay. Maybe you're worried, like, do I need to spend more to make more money? It's something you hear a lot. You need to spend money to make money. But I can tell you with certainty that the answer to that question is no, you do not need to spend money to make money, okay? Someone else needs to spend money for you to make money, okay? That person is called your customer or your client. That's who needs to spend money, not you, okay? You need to be able to sell them into spending money on you and with you. That's the game, okay? Person that needs to spend money is your customer or your client. You do not need to spend money to make money. I'll give you an example. I'm in Thailand now, but if I went back to Toronto and I went out on the street corner, I could go and make money 10 minutes from sitting down. I could probably make $100 a day from selling, $3,000 a month, because I can sell on a street corner. All right, and I think the average in Toronto was something like $40 a day, $40 or $50 a day. So, $1,500 a month. What people can make from being on the corner. So literally selling, zero money invested, okay? You can sell yourself as a coach. I know a couple guys out here who are life coaches, set up a Facebook page for free, sold themselves as a life coach, scaled up to six figures within a year or maybe a year and a half. Not every one of those guys I would buy from, okay? Most of the life coaches, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. So I'm not going to say anything at all, but I'm just saying that potential to make money is there. Okay. You can sell yourself as a coach on Facebook to people you know, or reaching out to people on Facebook, or going to those, coaches conferences and stuff. And I know the guys have done it, and, $0 investment. $0. You can rely on word of mouth for retaining business for $0. Okay, you can do a service that costs you nothing for $0 with $0 invested in marketing and advertising and make money. Landmark Forum's another example. Okay, a lot of people call it a cult, but it's a forum for self-improvement. They also do, really expensive executive training programs. It's run by volunteers who work super long hours. No advertising. Makes a fortune. Absolute fortune. Okay. Selling stuff in your house that you already have for no money. Literally any service that you know how to do. Making 1,000 cold calls a day and just getting in front of people. No money invested. Okay. So that's the reality. And you can't even calculate the ROI on that, right? Return on your investment. You didn't invest anything. It's like an infinite return. Okay. You sat down on a street corner. You got $100. It's an infinite return. All right. You also have access to the greatest equalizer known to man, the internet. Be grateful to God that you're born when you're born now, especially if you're a younger guy at this time. Because I had the internet, but it wasn't good until I was about 27. Okay, if you've had the internet for the last 5 or 7 or 10 years and you grew up with it, you are lucky. You are super lucky, okay? Organic traffic costs a little bit of money, to own the domain, but next to nothing, all right? Organic traffic is a godsend. Google is the greatest thing to happen to business owners. Notice I say Google, not Facebook, not Instagram, not Snapchat, not Twitter. Google, okay? Google owns Google search, which is the only search that matters, okay? 99% of my traffic is from Google search. Bing, Yahoo, they're irrelevant, okay? And Google owns YouTube. My YouTube is now bigger than my website. And both of those are all organic traffic, where I put something out, that article will last for, a decade, if not longer. The video will last a decade, if not longer. At least 5 years. I mean, video technology is changing faster, but you know, I'm making money off videos I did 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I'm making money off articles I did 6 years ago. Okay? And you don't even have to spend money. The YouTube channel is free, and you can get one of those blogger sites. I mean, if you want to do it that way. But I mean, you can just use YouTube and blow up your business, your service business. You know, you can be the copywriting guy on YouTube. You can be the, you know, the marketing guy on YouTube. Of course, it's competitive, right? But, you know, even if you're getting like 5,000 a month in organic traffic, if you have a high ticket item that you're selling, you know, that you're selling services for $1,000 a month, that organic traffic is very valuable, okay? Because your margins are so high. I get about 90,000 or 100,000. It's probably back to like 90,000 on my website, maybe 130,000 views, another 150,000 views on YouTube. Okay, that's all organic. That's close to 300,000 views a month. I think my content's total on YouTube has been viewed in 2.5 years, maybe 2.5 million times. And on my website, maybe, I don't know, 6 million or, yeah, you know, something crazy like that, if not more. Organic, dude, I mean, $50 a month on my hosting package and nothing on YouTube. Okay? You do not have to spend money to make money. You can make a lot of money, all right? Dude, those guys, PewDiePie has 60 million subscribers for playing video games, dude. He's bigger than he spent nothing on advertising, right? He's bigger than all the guys in my niche who spend $1 million a month, okay? Grant Cardone, who I like, he said he's spending $1 million a month on YouTube advertising. Tai Lopez, I heard, spends more than that. PewDiePie is bigger than all those guys combined. In terms of reach, I mean, they're probably making more money than him, or surely making more money than him. But in terms of reach, dude, I mean, you're in a day and age where you can reach millions of people by putting good stuff out there. I don't think you should do a personal development website. I think you should do a service business. Okay, but let's say if you're from Toronto, where I'm from, and you're just showing like every property and, you know, every luxury condo in downtown Toronto, right? And you're the luxury condo guy. There's been a condo boom for like the last 15 years. They keep building more condos. People keep buying them, right? Dude, even if you get 10,000 visitors a month from that Toronto area, those leads are so valuable, right? Because that condo deals, I don't know, what do you get for closing a condo? 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand, depending on how big the condo is. I mean, that organic traffic is valuable. Sure, you can advertise, but you can do organic. You can pound the phone. You can pound the phone book. You can go door to door. You can, you know, get friends to introduce you to people. Google search and YouTube, man, they make you competitive against the biggest in the world. You can outrank Forbes for an article, okay? You can outrank the Daily Mail for an article for free. I mean, it's crazy. Facebook and Instagram are pay for play. That's a different game, okay? If you're watching Zuckerberg and that deposition with him stuttering around how they actually make money, talking about Facebook's free, well, how do people see your content? And Ted Cruz is on him about, you know, that they're not, people aren't able to see all content equally, right? Facebook's pay for play. Even I heard Grant Cardone was talking about he spends $1 million a month on Facebook ads, but his organic reach is they're throttling his organic reach. Like he's saying his organic videos are only getting 61 views because once they know you're spending money, they throttle your organic stuff. That's what he was saying, so that you keep spending money. All right. You could, like I was saying with the life coach guys, or some type of a service, use Facebook strictly and without spending money if you know how to do outreach well. But Google and search and YouTube. A lot of people talk down these technologies. I'm like, here, I'm going to say this right on YouTube. I love Google, man. I love Google. I exist because of Google. Google, search, YouTube, man, I love that technology exists. I don't care if they know where I am all the time. I don't care about that, right? I care I don't have to work a sales job anymore, dude. That, I've reached 6 million people, or maybe 8 million, I don't know, views without spending money. I mean, it's that amount of advertising in any other era would have cost an absolute fortune. So, I mean, you're really living in incredible times, okay? I'm not saying I think you should become a blogger. I'm not saying you should become, doing this personal development thing. I don't think it's the best idea for most guys. I think the service-based business, that's gonna do it for you. That's the way to go. So, in that service-based business, can you spend money to make money? For sure, okay? You can add, spend money on learning more about the services you're going to provide. You can add products to it. You can watch your conversion rates, tweak those. Spend money on marketing. You spend money on advertising. But you can also make money through organic traffic and cold calls. Okay, I worked in ad sales. We got no inbound leads. They didn't do any inbound marketing, or if they did, those deals weren't going to the guys on the floor. And my job was to do $40,000 in revenue to keep my job. That's what I had to do. Okay, and all I had was we had a website with organic traffic, a small amount of organic traffic, but I didn't get any leads off that because that was advertising to our clientele. Okay, as opposed to inbound. I never got one inbound call. And just cold calls in the internet, 40 grand a month. Okay, that's it. People were saying cold calling is dying since I started working in sales. My friends are still working at the same job, probably the same desk, and it's been three and a half years maybe since I worked there. Okay. Can you take on debt and spend it to make more money? Absolutely. Okay, absolutely. Debt is the amplifier, but it's a double-edged sword. You have to be right. If you're wrong, it's game over. Okay, if you're wrong, it's game over. I've been dead a few times and never going back into debt. I'll tell you that much. Okay, have to be right. Spending money and getting debt and using debt as leverage can amplify your business massively, but you have to be right. Okay, you have to be right. It also can murder your margins. Okay, if you have a lot of savings, you have leeway, but that doesn't mean it's always the right decision. It's not always the right decision to say, well, hey, I have a lot of savings. I can afford to murder my margins on this thing. Okay, to me, that's not, that's not my style. All right, if you don't have a lot of savings, then you're gambling with rent money. And you're gambling with money you can't afford to lose. And you're probably going to lose, okay? You're probably going to lose because that's probably not going to be a good bet. Because you're probably not a good bet maker because you don't have any money. Because you haven't proved that you can save money, right? If you've proved that you can save and you've pulled $100,000 out of your business and have saved that and sitting in your account, and that's my if anything goes wrong money, that I'm good. You've proven to yourself that you can not only create and generate wealth, but you can save it and store it, right? If you've struggled and you've never had more than $500 in your bank account, dude, you haven't proved to yourself that you're able to generate that money. So it's a very dangerous time to start making those big bets. All right. You want to, if you are going to make a bet on that, you have to be right, and you have to have proven to yourself that you're consistent and that you have a safety net in case, taking on that debt really, really cripples you. Okay. So at the end of the day, margins matter and profits matter. Okay. A business with razor sharp margins, right? If you have to dump a bunch of cash into your business, and that's killing your margins, if it's a temporary thing, it's one thing, but if that's a permanent thing, right? Like you're spending a ton of money and your margins are terrible, okay, that business is going to fail because you have literally no margin of safety, right? You don't have a margin of safety. It's only a matter of time before you're running in a net loss, right? Most likely. I mean, you might be able to turn it around with enough pushing against homeostasis, but at the current trajectory, it's moving towards failure. Okay, if your business is already in negative cash flow, it's failing. Okay, again, you can turn that around, but it's failing now. So that's important to understand. You might be able to survive now by dipping into savings, but then you're consuming more than you produce. Okay. So now not only is your business failing, but you're failing in the area of personal finances, because producing more than you consume is the only way to create and preserve wealth. Okay, let me say that again. Producing, right? Being a producer, first of all, is the only way to get rich. And then producing more that you consume is the only way to create and preserve wealth, right? So my profit's going up, but my expenses are pretty much the same, right? That's the key. That's the key. Producing more than you consume, and then scaling that production as much as you can, so that it's incredibly in your favor, and then you're wealthy. That's what it is. Okay. You do not have to spend money to make money. You have to get other people to spend money on you. Okay, and you do that by producing. All right, you produce for a lot of people, or you produce for a select group of people and charge them a high amount for your valuable service, or you do a combination of both, and you keep your expenses well below what you're producing. And it doesn't mean you have to live like a pauper. It just means that you have to, if you want to spend more, you have to make more. Okay, you have to make more so that you can, so that your entire expenses for the month are 50% of what you earn. Right, and you can be saving half of what you make every month, okay, or reinvesting it if you choose to. But producing more than you consume is the key. Okay, there is no neutral. You're either going up or you're going down. All right, you're either going up or you're going down. Spending money is an amplifier. If you want to spend a lot of money, you need to be right. But if you're going down, a lot of the time, spending money might not be the answer to that. Okay, might not be the answer to take on a bunch of debt if you're failing. Okay, because there could be structural problems there. You can usually test the waters on your spend, but I mean, it's a double-edged sword. Okay, and you have to spend money on if you are going to spend money, you have to spend money on the right things. Okay, like what's the most profitable thing for you? Like the most profitable thing for me right now would be to pay someone to help me create a product, to do all the formatting. It's going to be a video, to do the editing on that, to help me organize my thoughts based on, I tell them to like take these amount of articles, organize my thoughts for me, help me with that, help me speed up the product creation, and help me with the design. Because I know I launch a product that month, I'm going to quadruple my profit for that month. And if it's, let's say, a video course for $200 or $300, now that's more dollar value than all the books I have on my site. Okay, like I will only be doing video courses in the future, video with audio with notes, because that's what people want. You can also charge a higher price point because there's a lot more information there, and therefore a lot more valuable, therefore a lot better for my business. Other stuff I'd spend money on would be conversion rates, which I've done already, which increase my profit by about 20% for, a tiny amount of money. SEO and organic content creation, I've already got some new SEO tools. Advertising, but again, I probably wouldn't advertise unless it was for that expensive product. I think it's got to be, you got to have a product or a service that's over $200 a month for Facebook and Google Ads to be worth it. So it'll be for, when I do my coaching, which I'm pushing off for the next 3 or 4 months, because that coaching is going to be expensive, or it'd be for a product that's above $200 to $300. I'm a big fan of Dan Kennedy. If you haven't read Dan Kennedy, check out his stuff. Okay, he really cuts to the chase on social media. Advertising, all this stuff is great, but what's your return on your investment? He's a direct response guy, where it's like, what are the metrics? How much are you spending? How much do you get back? Okay, as opposed to just like advertising in the dark and talking about targeted eyeballs and building a brand. Okay, I used to sell advertising. I know all that lingo. Okay, you know, eyeballs, building a brand, mind share. Okay, that's all garbage. How much does it make you? That's what matters. How much does it directly make you? Like if you're increasing your ad spend, all right, and that's costing you 20% of your profit margin, how much is it making you that month? Like how much, you know, more money are you making that month? The only thing I would consider for sort of that black box ROI that's not advertising ROI, that's not 100% measurable, would be I would in the future, after I've done a bunch of other products, I might do some like campaigns on Facebook or subscriber campaigns on YouTube, because those subscribers are valuable in terms of social proof. They're valuable in terms of having more people to view the videos, which will make the videos rank higher. They're valuable to have someone to share the videos, and much more of that is more valuable than traditional like advertising on television, where you just blast it out once and it's gone, or even just advertising your website is usually not as valuable, because the conversion rate to get someone to sign up to your newsletter is much lower than the conversion rate for getting them to subscribe to your Facebook or your YouTube. So that would be one area I consider. But before that, there's, you know, I want to get like 10 products out, 10 new products in the next 4 years. And, you know, there's a lot of stuff I want to do with SEO. So that's my business, but you should know for your business, like, what are the top 4 things that are the biggest priorities? And oftentimes you don't have to spend money on those. You have to spend time on them, or you have to do technical research, or you have to perhaps pay someone a little bit of money to solve like a technical problem. Okay, with conversion rates, doing that A/B testing, it barely cost me any money, but it cost a decent amount of time. Okay, so know what your business is. Spend money on shit that's going to get you return on your investment if you're going to do it. If you're interested in more, check out Dan Kennedy's stuff on this. Okay, you're not Google, you're not YouTube, you're not a guy with $100 million in the bank. You can't afford to just blast out for brand share, for mind share and eyeballs. Okay, big guys can afford to do that because they have the money to do that, and they can say, well, I'm going to blast this out now, you know, because I want to get mind share, and you know, the LTV of the client, I'll get this money back 7 years from now, or whatever it is. You know, if it's got that, if they're on that long enough of a timeline, which, you know, I think Google was 10 years in, or YouTube was 10 years in, and they still didn't have a timeline to profitability, excuse me, because they're thinking like those guys are on a 10, 20 year timeline about the clients that they want to get. You can't afford that, dude. Okay, you can't afford that for the most part, unless you're really, you know, unless you're worth 100 mil. Okay, you can't afford that. Okay, you got to be on the timeline of like this year, this month. If I'm spending money on this thing better get me my money back. All right, and ideally you're able to have a business without spending money. That's why I tell you guys about the cold calls and having that in your arsenal. So where you know, your business is not solely reliant on advertising, okay? Having the outbound sales and having the, you know, if you want to get some organic traffic in there, especially now YouTube, man. YouTube just gets more and more useful every single day, okay? To have those elements where you don't have to spend money to make money is ideal, all right? So hopefully, I know that was long-winded because there was a lot of stuff that I wanted covered. There wasn't, you know, there was like 3 or 4 or 5 different questions and different things that I wanted to cover in this, and I hope you found that useful. Again, I'm not against spending money, but it's like, get your ROI. Get your ROI for this year, get your ROI for this month. Spend it on the 4 or 5 in order of like the biggest things that are the most profitable for you, but like, don't let that spending murder your margins. And you know, you should have a business also where you have a sustainable high margin business without having to spend a ton on advertising. You know, that you have other sources of getting in front of people and selling them and closing them, I think is important. And you don't need to spend money to make money. That's the truth. So hope you found that useful. Let me know what you think in the comments and YouTube comments on my site. Thank you, brother, for watching this. And as always, I wish you all the best in your personal development journey.